Well, we're in my office today, and this is my desk over here. You might say that's my desk. But in my office, we don't sit on our ass a lot. We don't sit down. What we do is stand up a lot, and it hurts our knees. And when you get old and you stand up a lot, your knees get worse. That's another day and another dollar. What we are doing, though, is I'm going to show you some very, very important tech tips. I got implants, people. I got 5 implants. I got 3 over here. The reason I got 3 on this side is because the doctor that gave me the implant put one in the back, and then he finally realized, gee, I screwed up. I'm going to go ahead and con him into getting another one. I'm going to make him pay for it. So I ended up paying for 1 over here that I shouldn't have paid for. So I got 3 over here. I got 1 here. I got another one here. And if you look at that tooth, that's already an implant. This one implant, this one right here, the gold tooth you're looking at, that implant, I think it was 10 or 12 years ago, was $8,000 for that one tooth. I got all these implants. I got 5 implants for a little under $10,000. Now, I still got to get the abutments, and what the abutment is, the thing that screws into the implant, and then once the abutment's in, then I can get my crowns. This one here keeps falling out, so I'm going to leave it out today. But we're not going to get mad. We're not going to holler. We're DIY out of school, everybody. How's everybody doing? So when you see my tooth out today, it's because I'm tired of it falling out. I'll put it back in later. We got a lot of talking to do, and what we're going to talk about block sanding Bondo. And I got the piece that I want to show you here. This is a perfect piece to show you. Let's take a look at it, and let's go over it. Now, we aren't editing this. I'm sorry, somebody just texted me. It was actually the owner of this decklid. So we're not editing this, so if you see me move my camera around, I got it jerry-rigged up on a tripod. That's because we're not editing this. This is a live video. I don't like doing live videos. We're going to try another angle of doing a live video. We're going to try to do it as an instructional live video over here at D.I.Y, because that's what DIY out of school is all about. So let's get this camera up high, and then we're going to go like this with our tripod. Can everybody hear me out there? Are we coming in nice and clear? Give me a thumbs up before we go any further. I want to make sure that everything that I show you is coming in crystal clear, and that's another reason I don't like doing. Okay, somebody just said yes, YouTube, yes, okay, thank you. Don't forget to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also thumbs up this video. Thumbs up means a lot. When you thumbs up the video, it puts it in queue at a higher level so more people can see it and recognize it. So we need that thumbs up, everybody, okay, thumbs up. I know there's going to be some jerk-offs and some low-life losers that are going to give the thumbs down. I don't care, because I know the real people out there that care will give the thumbs up. What we got here is we got a decklid. This is a decklid for a 60s models Mustang. Now, the owner bought this decklid. This is a factory original used decklid. So he bought it and shipped it out here. And as we turn it around, I'm going to go over it, give you the road map. This section right here was a very bad section. And when I say that, we had to cut out this corner. That corner had to be completely cut out. It was rotted and rusted. Underneath was rusted, so we had to fix that. And then there was a bunch of rust holes going down the edge right here. And then it got crushed in or something over here. So it was really jacked up and messed up in this area. So we went ahead and fixed that. That was an all-day job. And then we had to go over the whole decklid, and I'm kind of getting it where you can see it. We had to go over the whole decklid with the shrink disc, and then, of course, my electronic dent puller. We had a lot of dents. They were kind of minor dents, but there were so many of it, it made it a major situation. We had dents that were popped upwards, and that was from something that was in the trunk. Somebody had stuff in the trunk, and I don't know if you can see that, but Here's a dimple right here. There was 3 or 4 over here. There was a bunch of them over there on that side. So we had to use the shrinking disc to get rid of those, and we got rid of them. So by the time we got done, we ended up having a fairly good deck lid, but it needed minor body work. So we had this area over here, and then we had a couple low spots within the situation. And then to get it all done, what I did is I went ahead and skimmed a whole coat of Bondo on this, and then I blocked that out. Now, when I say skim, I'm going to let everybody know we did not put layers and layers of Bondo on that. You can see by looking at it how thin it is, all right? And I hope you can see this picture, okay? Because this is really important. If you're learning and you want to learn how to do bodywork, you need to watch this video, because this video is going to show you how to save time, save material, and do a precise, nice quality job. So just hang on. Let me get that focused in. So what we're doing here is we're looking at this deck lid, and I don't like to blow everything out because it gets dust in there. So what I do is I take an old broom and I'll go ahead and sweep that off. Now I want you to pay attention when I sweep this off. After I blocked that out, because the whole thing was skimmed, and I didn't have time to make the video on that, to add that into the video, because this is hours, okay? We got hours of work here, people. And the reason we're coming in now on the video is because this is the final sand job before our polyester primer. And when I say polyester primer, I want to get something really, really straight out there, and I want to make sure everybody understands this. Polyester primer is not spray-on Bondo. A polyester primer is one step above 2K primer, urethane primer. Do not get polyester primer confused with spray-on Bondo. I do not use spray-on Bondo. Now, there's another word that they have for it. It ain't coming to my mind, but I'm going to let everybody out there know polyester primer is not N-O-T spray-on Bondo. It's one step above 2K. And the reason it's one step above is they use a totally different hardener. It uses a fiberglass resin hardener, and it goes on a lot thicker, but it is not spray-on Bondo. So if you have something like this right here, this would be a good, what can we say, subject for polyester primer, because polyester primer flows out nice and smooth. And I have videos that I'm going to upload about the polyester primer, and you're going to want to watch those. So let me turn this deck lid around. I had a dent right here. We're not going to focus on that. And then there was another little dent right in here. What we're going to focus on is I'm going to turn this around so we can see what's going on. All right, can you see that? Does everybody see that in the picture? Okay. All right. So what we want to do is we want to accurately sand our bodywork, our Bondo, and we want to do it in a way where we're not going to be adding and adding and adding. Let me show you this. Does everybody see that? That's not the tool to use. That tool right there, if you're trying to get it done quick and you want it precise and you want concourse resolutions and concourse quality work, this is made to break it down. This is for collision repairs. This is for a job like this, but it's not the final sand job before a primer. Does everybody see that? That is definitely not the tool that we're going to use today. So these two tools that you're looking at right here, and I want to tell everybody, I appreciate you coming in the middle of the day like this on a weekday. This is a live video that we're doing. I'm going to try to do a lot more of these live videos like what you're watching now, instead of me doing this and yeah. I'm getting sick and tired of hollering and screaming. I'm getting sick and tired of telling everybody that the prices of everything and anything including dirt, has gone up. What I do want to do, though, is I want to get back to my video. So thank you for, yeah, you got the idea. So what we're looking at here, guys, is these are not the tools that we want before we put primer on a job like this. Now, if this was a collision job, if this was a fender on a 2018 Kia, then I would finish it out with that and then blow some primer on it and it would be done, but not on something like this. So we're gonna get these tools out of the way. And then what I'm gonna do, if you guys just hang on a minute, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the tools that are needed for a job like this. If you look right here, these are hand block sanders. These are called speed files. The tools that you are looking at right here are the tools that are going to give you success. Now, before we go any further, I want to show you something else. Let me get in my desk. We got a company out there that is selling these blocks. You buy them in a kit. Everybody knows what they are. Called DuraBlock. I'm not advertising for these people. I'm showing you I got to do this. They are not paying me. These people are not paying me. I'm getting fucking paid. I'm sorry. I cussed. I'm showing you this so you will understand if you want your body work precise in a situation like this, or even in a small situation, these are not the blocks to use. These are blocks that you would use for finish work. After the car is already primered and you're getting in to, let's say, your first block sand of your primer to go into the second blocking. These are not to be used for this. Number one, I'm going to show you the difference. We're going to take this little block here and I want to show you. This is a flex block, okay? Even though you can't see that thing flexing, it is flexing so much, okay? The micro flex in this block, and another thing is when you push it in, it pushes in. The flexibility and the stamina of this block right here will never get the bodywork the way that we want it for our primer. You will continuously block sand this, and you will always feel a high spot or a low spot because this is a soft surface. This is not a solid, hard surface block. So remember, to get precise and accurate Bondo sanding jobs, when you're doing a job like this, these are not the blocks to use. Now, once again, if we're doing a collision job and we got some hail damage on the hood and we're going to fix it, these are great. You block sand it out, you get her done, paint it, go down the road, get your insurance check, and you know, put it in the bank. But when it comes to the restoration of an automobile like this, that you want it to be high quality, this is a no-no. So I'm going to put that back in my desk drawers. And then what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on these blocks. Now this one here, this one is made by Hutchins. This is one of the most popular ones. I like this block. It's a nice block. And this is actually called the speed file. You can see that in there. But if we come over here to these three blocks, and I have another one, I think I do. I have a bunch of blocks, okay? I have a bunch of blocks. This block is a 3M block. This is a block that's made by 3M. It's a speed block, and it's a good block. This block, I used to use this block all the time until I got turned on to these ones here. These ones are made by R&H Products. And I don't even know if you can buy these. Now, I know that Hutchins makes all of these blocks right here. And you can see how old these are. They have the little clips on them for non-sticky paper. All right? So I don't know if these are still available, but if you get on Hutchins' website, they actually make these. And I'm going to show you how to use these properly. But we got the 3M block here. And what the 3M block is good for, it's nice and solid. I like that. It's not going to twist and bend. We can grab it with two hands like this. We can grab it with one hand like that. All right, we can come over here and we can, get over here like this, nice and easy. So this is a good block to have. I don't know if they still make these, and I don't use it as much anymore. I got it in case I do need it. So let me put that away. And now we're really going to go back in time. We're actually going to go back to my friend Pete's teenage years, back to when I was about 14. When I actually worked and painted my very first car when I was 13 or 14 with my scumbag uncle. And of course, me and my brother went from there into buying cars and trucks and painting them and selling them. That's another day, another story. But now we're really going to go back in time, and I'm going to show you how old I really am. This block is made out of wood, people. This is a wooden hand block that was specifically designed for non-sticky paper before sticky paper came out. And you can see this is how this thing works. All right, I think the other one's broke. But you come over here and you put your paper in the vise there, and then you push it down, and then it automatically stays down. So this is an old school block. I don't use this block that much, but if I need it, it's here for me to use. And if you look right here, the newer design plastic ones are almost identical to the old school ones. Okay, to show you the proper way to use these. Now, once again, we are on our final sand job before polyester primer. And what I've done, this one has 36 grit. Okay? When I'm going to have to try to explain this to you. I did my skim coat to break down the residue layer, the gummy layer that's always on top of the Bondo. I went ahead and used this with 36 grit. And I'm going to show you when you are by yourself and you're working on a piece like this. I'm going to show you how to use that block by hand. And we're going to go ahead and take this one. We're not using this one right now. And we're also not going to use the speed file. But remember now, I took this and I broke it down. Okay? I broke it down and I got it all leveled out how I want it. And then I came back, and before I did that, before I sanded the Bondo, I actually took my guide coat and I sprayed my Bondo with guide coat. And the reason I did that is to make sure that I got all my low spots out. Now, if you look in this area here, you can see that is a low spot. There was a low spot over here. So what I'm going to do, so everybody can pay attention and see what's going on, I'm going to take some guide coat paint and I'm going to go ahead and highlight where I had to add my Bondo. Now, we already know there's some dents over here. We're not going to mess with those. So we got two spots here. And after I blocked it out with this, I came back and I changed the paper out on this one to 80 grit. Then I blocked it out with these two on 80 grit. So what we're going to do now is I am going to show you how quick and easy these blocks, and after you see me do this, you're going to go out and buy some. Because these are going to be your number one blocks, okay? Once again, and they're not paying me for this, RH Products. All right, RH Products. Or you can go to Hutchins and get them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load my sandpaper on here, and I'm using 80 grit. And the sandpaper that we're using is 3M. I just have it in this box because it makes it convenient. So I got my blocks loaded. Now I want to show you how quick this goes. And we're going to go ahead and start out with this one first. And I'm going to sand this area right here. And you're watching this in real time, so it's not sped up or it's not, you know, double take. And another reason that we're using this hard block is because when I'm sanding this, the only place that's being sanded is the high spot where the Bondo is. That's it. My sander is not sanding anything around that. So using the solid hard block is going to keep us from eliminating our Bondo around where we had to add it, and it's going to help us feather it into what's already there. So we're going to take our block, and you can already see that it's disappearing and feathering in. And one more thing when you're doing this, always wear a mask. I'm not wearing a mask right now because I'm showing this to you. It's very important that you should always wear a mask. But you can see how quick, and I'm not even putting pressure on it. You can see how quick this is getting eliminated. Do you see that? Look at that. I'm going to come over here on this edge, and I'm going to concentrate just on this edge right here. The way that I clean my paper off, I'm going to show you that. This is important. I take a brush. And when it gets filled up, what I'll do is I'll brush the paper off. And that keeps it clean so we get a nice, good, solid sanding finish. So I'm going to concentrate right here, and I'm going to feather this out to get it all filled out. And once again, my sander is not hitting the Bondo around it until I actually got it leveled out. But you can see by using this type of sanding block, look at this. Okay? We're not done there yet, but I'm going to stop right there. So now that we saw how this one works, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you this one here. Now this block here, you would probably look at it and you'd say, that's a two-hand block. Why would you use that? It is a two-handed block. To use it with two hands gives you more accuracy, and it gives you a better, what can we say, balanced sand job. Do you see what I'm saying? When I'm using this, and don't get me wrong, this is a solid block. When I'm using this, I might have more pressure up here than back here. I might be rocking. Do you see what I'm saying? But with this block here, using both hands, you got pressure on the back and the front. But one more thing that's important about this block, this is actually a one-handed block as well. Remember the 3M block that I showed you? Let me find that. And it had a handle in the middle. That's a nice block to use, but guess what? If you have your hand in the middle, just like this, that's no guarantee that it's going to be a solid, balanced, pressurized push, because you can be, when you go forward, you're actually lifting up on the back of it, and when you go back, you're lifting up. You see what I'm saying? So that's a nice idea, but it's not going to work on this situation. So I'm out here by myself, and Minnie's not out here, Minnie's the body shop girl, and this thing's flopping around, and I'm sanding it. How am I going to use this thing without this falling off? We're going to call this, okay, we're going to take this end right here, and that's going to be our armrest. We're not going to use two hands. What we are going to do is we're going to grab the front, and I'm going to use my arm. Now I'm putting equal pressure on it. Do you see how my hand fits down in here? So now I can sand just like this. And you can see, you can literally see how quick and accurate this works. And once again, I'm not even sanding around. I'm only sanding what's right here. And you can see I'm not even using a lot of pressure on this, people. Now I'm gonna go crisscross. I'm gonna crisscross it back and forth, because if I go the same way, what's gonna happen? It's gonna get this. All right, or it's gonna get this. So we wanna keep our sandpaper moving in different directions. But can you see how my arm is being used as a rest on here, a leverage, to get all this blocked out and done accurately to make sure that there's pressure on front and back. So it's already feathered out here and we ain't even been sanding for 30 seconds. All because we use those. If I would have took my air file and put 80 grit on that, and I would have came over here and air filed this down, the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to remove too much of this Bondo. The next thing that's going to happen is I am going to eat all the Bondo around it. And we're not talking around it. Do you see how compact that is compared to this? Do you see that? Do you see the difference? So if I put this in the middle and I go around, I'm wasting my time because all of this is being removed. All this is being removed because I wanted to be smart mouth, I wanted to be smart ass, and use an air file and get it done ASAP. Well, guess what? We just got it done ASAP without any electricity, without any air, without any air tools, and that's all we used right there. We could have broke it down with that, and then we would have came back and put more Bondo on it. Then we take our air file, then more Bondo, then air file, more Bondo. So I'm going to go ahead and take this sander right here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to feather this edge out. I don't know if you can see that from there. And we're going to use this sander, and I'm going to show you how to do it with two hands. So now I'm using two hands on it instead of one hand. And I'm not putting any pressure. I'm just taking my time. And you see how I'm steering it with the back of it? I'm steering it. This is my steering wheel. And this is our 4x4 front end, okay? See what I'm saying here? Look. See how nice that's coming out? And we're getting her done. And now we're going to go back to the single sand sanding job. And we're going to get that baby feathered out and be done with it. And that's as flat as a pancake, people. If you can feel that right there, you would be amazed what it feels like. It feels like it has just a little bit of a crest right here. So I'm going to take it with two hands. And the reason it has a crest, because I can see it right there. I can see it. You can see right here that it's still low. I can't bring the camera down here and show you, but you can see that right there. There's still a low spot. So we're just going to block it out just like this. And look at that. I don't know if you just saw what I just saw, but I just saw speed. I saw accuracy. I saw my friend Pete not hollering and screaming and getting loud. And I saw a professional job being done quick, fast, and saving the customer money. If you're a shop out there and you're charging your customers by the hour only, and you're doing this, then you need to charge accordingly, sir. Because if you charge, you just saw how quick that was, people. You just saw it. So if you're a guy out there that's got a car at a shop and they're charging by the hour, investigate it. See why you're spending so much money when it only took me seconds to get that done. I got a little high spot right here, some Bondo, so I'm just gonna, there, look how quick that happened, people. Did you see that? Look at this. Okay, I got this one and this end. You see what I'm doing here? Huh? Look at that. All right. Now, remember this one here, this was the Big Daddy. We're not using that. What we are going to use is we're going to use our Hutchins speed file. Now, the rest of this is only sanded out to 36 grit. Hang on a second. Let me get some 80 grit on this. Okay. Let's go over this sander right here. I'm going to tell you all about it. This is a very, very accurate and professional sander right here, people. It's made a little thinner than this. And this one here is solid. You ain't going to bend it. You're not going to twist it. It's not going to go anywhere. It is a solid rock. This one is made out of a thin plastic. And I don't know if you can see it, but it has a flex to it. Let's see if we can. Let me come over there a little closer. All right. It has a slight flex to it. And what makes this block handy is that it will ride the contours and the curves of what you're trying to do perfect. 10 times better than a Durablock. So we're going to take this one and we're going to put this over here. And I want to show everybody this. I don't know if you can see it from where we're at, but this is not perfectly flat, okay? Look at this. Can you guys see that right there? Okay, this is actually round right here. And then there's a hump that goes like this as well. So using this block as a superficial finish block on Bondo would be a no-no. Now, if you were working with primer, that's a different story. But as far as a finished product on Bondo, this one would not work too good because it ain't a flex block. So what we're going to do, and another thing is you don't want to use a big area like this. You don't want to sand the whole thing down with this. This is too little. This isn't covering enough area. Does that make sense? Do you see the difference? Look how big that is compared to this. Another thing is, this would be good if you didn't have this, because this is small enough where it gets all of the curves and it will ride accurately. But since we have the Hutchins speed file, and that is part number PF16, okay, PF16, Hutchins speed file. If you have this, this is going to, okay, look what's going on. Can you see, look at that. I'm going to show you, I want to show you this, and you can't do this with air tools. It's impossible. All right, let me show you this here. I'm going to remove all the dust off of this, and I want to show you how fast and quick using the right tools works best for you. So we just took all the dust off. I want to show you how quick this sands. You're going to see the dust build up very quickly. I'm not putting any pressure, and I'm going to go really slow. All I'm doing is leveling it out and trying to eliminate as many deep scratches as I can. And feather out. Feather, level, and fill. Get rid of the deep scratches. It's a lot better when you're doing this like this that you have somebody hold it for you. Like I said, Minnie is busy. And looky there, people, look at that. I am done Okay, I'm done. This is now, look at that. Okay. You don't see dust flying in the air. The shop isn't full of Bondo dust and getting everywhere. And I have now sanded my Bondo to primer perfection. Now we can't use 2K only on this because this was, you can see what's going on. And this guy wants this car perfect. And my friend Pete's gonna do it as perfect as I can for him. And if it doesn't come out to the perfection that he wants, then he can take it somewhere else and have him redo it, bitch. I don't care. So what we got is that right there. Did you see what I just did? Let me show you this again. We got the Hutchins speed file. You need to get online and order that now. We got the R&H product sanders. And I don't even know if these are available anymore. But you can get these, the exact same ones, from Hutchins. And then we got the 3M, which we don't use on this. This is actually for breakdown. And then, on top of it all off, we got bad knees. Did I just say that, people? We got, this is one of my very first blocks here. We got bad knees from standing up, using this to make a living with. Let me go ahead and show you a couple other blocks while we're out here that'd be handy. Here's another 3M block. Nice, solid, one-hander. This is for real small dents, like if you're doing hail damage. All right, here's another one. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you a lesson here, people. These blocks are finished blocks. All right? These are not. These are primer blocks, if that. These are breakdown blocks. These are Collision World blocks, not restoration blocks. Okay? I also have material where I make my own blocks. You can get on my YouTube channel here and check that out. And I also have this block. And this is for big giant cars like GTOs and Cadillacs and old school stuff. And that is, I use for primer. I use that to final sand the Bondo like you saw me do with this. And then to rough it in for primer. And then I'll use this on the primer on the cars. So I got a lot of blocks. But the main blocks that I use for Bondo is basically what I just showed you and how I just showed you. If it's a small job, I'm using these things. I've had these since I was in my early 20s, and I still use them to this day. All right, I still use those blocks, but I'm old school, people. I'm an old guy trying to make a living and survive. I don't have 401k. I don't have big bank accounts and savings accounts. I'm just a working stiff like you, trying to make a living and trying to show you an easier way to do it, because I learned this. This is what I learned from my mistakes. I can sit here and tell you for 27 hours how many mistakes I made before I perfected my system. I'm gonna go ahead and put these away, because guess what? We don't need them anymore today, people. We're done with them. We're gonna go ahead and throw them in here, maybe for some other time down the road. And good luck with your block sanding techniques. There's a guy out there I want to go ahead and do a shout out. Look at that, people. Can you see that? Look at that. When I put my 2 coats of polyester primer on this, I'll probably go 3, and then I block it out. I'm going to use the same blocks on the polyester primer. This thing is going to be razor straight, okay? It should come out perfect. And all because I took my time and I did it the quick way. So I want to do a shout out to our buddy Rich out in the UK. Rich, I guess, owns a small paint and body shop. And he always emails me and asks me crazy, unusual block sanding questions. So I'm going to dedicate this video to our buddy Rich out in the UK. And if Rich is watching, go out there and get them blocks, Rich. I hope I answered a bunch of your questions. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, over here at DIY Auto School, actually doing a live lesson video. Something that we miss over here, something that we should have been doing all along instead of hollering and cussing and screaming. We'll keep that for some other channel. And hopefully you are learning. I'd like to go ahead and say I was going to go ahead and open a DIY school out here, but insurance reasons and other reasons that I don't want to get involved with have basically put a stop to that. So we won't have a DIY auto school, but we will have this right here where you can sit down and rewind this video as many times as you want to learn how to do it right, because if you're not doing it right, you're not doing it at all. And speaking of doing it right, I got to get my floor prepped up. I don't want primer on my floor because I'm getting ready to spray this baby with polyester primer. I might come back and show you the techniques of that, but we don't know. We just got to get it done because we want to get this car out of here, and we're going to walk over here, and I hope this thing doesn't die out. We're going to go over here, and we're going to get this Mustang done, and hopefully the owner is going to be a happy owner, and he's not going to holler and scream that it is. He loves his car, and hopefully I'll love it too when it's not in my shop, bitch.